And then, um, and then of course, at last, you got Ron Paul. Yeah, dead last all the time. What else is new? Is there anything else new? Anything? Yeah. I mean, think you know what I'm getting ready to say. How many times have I said this now? I mean, can you count? Well, nobody's counting, but I mean, you got. I mean, he's not serious. I mean, Ron Paul he himself has admitted that he's not gonna win this. He can't win it. He doesn't stand a chance. But for some reason, his supporters are delusional. Like they're not in touch with what's really going on. And when you see this guy consistently losing, I mean, Ron Paul has a really impressive losing streak. And when you just see just the constant losing, he cannot win a state to save his life. You know, well, I don't really look at the Paul bots and the Palestinians, you know, as, you know, folks with any substance when it comes to this stuff. Yeah, well, that goes without saying, but I mean, look, and then and then you get, you get harassed by these guys, by these, these Ron Paul folks or whatever, and it's like, right, well, I mean, you've dealt with it, I've dealt with it, a lot of other folks who don't support Ron Paul have dealt with it. I mean, and I can continue to spell it out for these idiots, but I mean, they're not gonna get it. Like, look, I can't stand Ron Paul. I like the sight of the guy. It just makes me literally sick. Like, I have little to no respect for him at all, and I don't care for his supporters. I really don't. I really don't. Because yeah, I mean, it's like, you tell me that you support Ron Paul, then to me, all that tells me is that, okay, you're not one to be taken seriously. And that's and that's part of the whole point that I try to make with this crap. I mean, all right, I'm gonna do this. Okay, now check this out. All right, now I am me. All right, I am Jonathan Davis, a conservative Republican, and I do not support Ron Paul. All right, now I'm gonna try to explain this as best as I can, because they won't get it after this either. We can only do what we can do. But I mean, look, I can't stand Barack Obama, and then so when you have Ron Paul, uh, who is well to the left of Obama on defense, foreign policy, trade, and the war on terror. I mean, look, Ron Paul voted against the GOP plan to cut the deficit by $6.2 trillion, and he's against a border fence to stop illegal immigrants from entering the country, because Ron Paul, being the conspiracy theorist that he is, feels that if a fence was to be built, it would be to keep us, the U.S. citizens, in, well, prevent us from leaving. I mean, okay, look, we all know that Ron Paul blames the United States for 9/11, and I mean, his extreme isolationism would help terrorists. I mean, that goes without saying. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see this crap, and to see just, how full of it he really is. And it's like, the GOP platform advocates, serious reforms, but in Ron Paul's America, if Ron Paul were to be the president, we would literally, okay, and I'm talking literally, have no public schools, no social security or Medicare. The Federal Aviation Authority and its air traffic controllers would be abolished, along with the CIA, FBI, the Patriot Act, and the FDA, which ensures the safety of our food and drugs, medicine. Well, okay. Well, let me go ahead and let me progress on this. Well, we know, okay, the potheads. You know, Ron Paul's got their vote. Look, okay. President Ron Paul, okay. I don't even like the sound of that. But if he was the president, he would allow states to legalize, dangerous recreational drugs and oppose all childhood vaccinations. Okay, now when asked, he was asked if a dangerous disease was spreading like wildfire, would he change his view and require immunization in a dire situation? And he responded, "No, I wouldn't do it." Okay, now we know that vaccinations save millions of lives every year. People no longer die of stuff like, smallpox and scarlet fever and dozens of other diseases, which were once, wiping people out in this country. I mean, yeah, yeah, exactly. But hey, and the stupid, his stupid supporters or whatever, they'll find a way to justify that. Um, I mean, you have to with everything. There's benefits and there's risk, and so you have to see which of the two outweighs the other, and the benefits of vaccinations, immunization or whatever. The benefits far outweigh the risk in those circumstances. I mean, look, Ron Paul would. We already know. Okay, we already know he would do nothing to stop the development of nuclear weapons by Iran. We know that. I mean, he wants to abolish sanctions on Iran and completely 100% abandon Israel. We know how anti-Israel he is, anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, anti-Jew. I mean, yeah. I mean, whatever. I mean, he would. Uh, if the Jewish state was to be attacked and there was the serious threat of another Holocaust, to take place, uh, he would do nothing. Yeah, he would do nothing. He's big on doing nothing. I mean, that's just I mean, it goes to show just how pathetic of a man, how lousy of a human being he really is. Um, I mean, and he believes, it's wrong, okay, to stop weapons shipments to Hamas. Like, he actually believes that it's wrong to prevent these terrorist organizations from getting weapons. Like, you you can't make this stuff up. He also believes, I mean, well, right? Okay, yeah, there was that. Okay, there was that, and then we all know that he believes the Osama bin Laden raid was wrong. Yeah. What is this? Oh, he's he's kind of good. I'm getting a little hungry here. Hold on. These kind of good. I like these. But thank you. Anyway, look, this is called spade a spade here. All right. Ron Paul is a moral monster who would have done nothing about the Holocaust or slavery. He believes that Congress should not have any power to abolish slavery or segregation. All right, and Ron Paul is the only Republican. I don't even like calling him a Republican because he's not a Republican. He's a dirtbag, idiotic libertarian. And he's the only so-called Republican in the House or the Senate who opposed the 1964 Civil Rights Act and believes that Abraham Lincoln was our worst president. I mean, look, he's not going to win the nomination or whatever. Any of his supporters who really believe that he will, just goes to show, they lack basic common sense and they're not very smart people. They're probably, the dumbest of the dumb, on this earth. I mean, look, his Ron Paul revolution, what it really is a cause. It's not really about the presidential campaign because he knows that he can't win. He'll never be the president. What it is, it's a cause with the long-term goal to fundamentally change the Republican Party from conservative to radical libertarian. And the Ron Paul folks, they want the GOP to adopt these ridiculous neoliberal positions on defense and foreign policy, trade, and the war on terror. I mean, you're talking about slashing, the military spending. I mean, that sounds like that's what liberals do. And then when you consider the fact or whatever that military spending is only about 17% of the entire budget, and that's where that's where Ron Paul's biggest concern is let's slash the freaking heck out of this military spending. Look, and see the dangerous thing here or whatever is that this this whole libertarian movement thing, with Ron Paul, it's making some substantial progress because there's just too few GOP leaders opposing them. They're not speaking out against it. There's no Republicans actually speaking out against this libertarian influence that's making its way into the GOP. And I mean, Ron Paul, he would win in a landslide victory amongst 18 to 29-year-old votes, which I consider that to be the age range of the stupid people, the potheads, people who don't know any better. I'm glad to say that being in that age range is one of the few people out there who possesses common sense and some bit of wisdom. But if you go on Facebook, the Republican Security Council, you can check them out. They're working to adopt a conservative GOP platform and basically, to try to stop, these libertarians and these isolationists, and their stupid conspiracy theories. Because it's all a joke. It's all a joke. But Ron Paul is a joke. His supporters are a joke. His campaign is dead. This was never about the president, becoming the president, because he knew from day one he would never get elected. He never will get elected. He will never be our president. This is about him trying to, push this movement of libertarianism so that one day, since he can't be the president, one day some politician who sees it the way that he does can possibly, become the president. I hope to never live to see that day, but, yeah, hey, we make do with what we can, and that's pretty much it. And, and my last thing to, to the Ron Paul folks, if you're a Ron Paul supporter, and in the general election, you write him in as a third candidate, you're a loser. You are a loser if you do that. Yep, I said it. I'm calling you all who plan on doing that. I know some of you do plan on doing that. A lot of you plan on doing that. You're losers. Big, sorry, pathetic, dead brain, weed smoking, meth using losers. Now take that to the bank and cash it. Let me borrow $1.